Obviously, homelessness in the downtown area is one of those very frequent complaints from the stakeholders downtown, based on the, folks using the restroom behind their buildings, or people panhandling, or people sleeping on sidewalks, and it just, the appearance of it is not what business owners would prefer, obviously. However, in a city of 1 million people like Austin, the only homeless shelter available is the Arch at 7th Street and Natchez Avenue. There's no other place in the city that a person who's homeless can go to. There's no other emergency shelters where they can go to, which is why you see them living under bridges and encampments that they create all over the city. Homelessness is one of the most frequent complaints from people, all the way from north to south and east to west and everywhere in between, in every neighborhood. But in the end, the problem is lack of space for people to go. On a given day in Austin, there's about 2,000 homeless people every day in the city.
Everything getting better though, because there's a lot of more resources that's being available now, and a lot of more help that's coming out. A lot of more different programs that's being offered. You just got to be able to move around. You got to be mobile, and make the appointments to where they send you to. Wherever they send you to, you got to be able to go there to solve your homelessness.
At the end of the day, it comes down to having a place to be. And it's very frequent that our officers get the complaints of the homeless camp behind the elementary school or at the library, and we respond to that camp and we tell people they can't be there where they are in that camp, but we have nowhere to tell them to go to. And so they break up that camp and they move along, only to create a new camp somewhere, and that whole cycle continues to repeat itself. If you had to point to one thing, honestly and truthfully, that led to you being homeless, what would you say it was? Drugs. And so she's homeless because she has no family to take her in. But she's not mentally ill. She's relatively healthy. She's in her late 50s. And so Brenda was sleeping on the sidewalk, between the sidewalk and the Salvation Army, for the safe sleep. She could at least be in there at night, back on the sidewalk, hanging out in that environment every day. Well, Brenda has a crack addiction, and Brenda was eventually arrested for possession of cocaine and is now in jail.
There's a lot of people around here on drugs and stuff, and I'm an ex-addict myself, and by looking and seeing situations and seeing people on drugs keeps me grounded. Like, damn, I don't want that no more.
Yeah, now there are some folks. We do have a team called the HOST team, a Homeless Outreach Street Team. It's just based in downtown. It's very small, and it's a coordinated effort between the police, Austin Travis County EMS and the paramedics, and Integral Care and their mental health workers, and case managers, and together in that team, everybody plays their own part, with the goal of being to make connections with homeless people on an individual basis, work with them individually to try to figure out what their needs are to try to get them off the streets.
If that shit, how you do?
I'm standing on Friday.
That don't look good. Damn. It's showing all your grades and shit.
My girlfriend likes it.
Shit, keep it on in there. All right.
I'm gonna shave it on Friday.
All right.
Other folks, they good officers like yourself.
Yeah.
They come down and check on us.
Yeah, right.
Make sure that we still breathing.
Yeah.
You come through a lot.
I do. Well, when people ask me all the time, what can I do for the homeless, I tell them, just be polite.
That's right.
Treat them with respect. The same way you treat anybody else. There ain't no difference.
You put a smile on a person's face, man, he can go through the rest of the day.
That's right.
The majority of homeless people are some of the nicest folks you ever want to meet. They come from backgrounds and have challenges that you and I are lucky enough not to have come from or deal with. And so because of that, they're in a very vulnerable situation, and the majority of them are just doing what they can